Uh, Hello guys. I'm sorry I was in a call with your ma'am, Megha ma'am. So that's why it took long. Just a minute. Switch audio. Okay. Is my voice clear?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Cool. Let's start. Today we are having interesting session. अरे क्या क्या चल रहा है क्या तुम्हारा मीटिंग वगैरह एचओडी मैम मैम मीन ओके yes it's audio is clear. Cool. Okay, let me just share my screen. So guys, let me just clear one thing, okay? Uh, we have said this at the first lecture, and we don't want to, keep anything behind of you or anyone. It is very straight, clear about the training program at the internship. We have, uh, that's what I explained, ma'am, also that training program is a different category and internship is a different category. You have paid money for the training program. You haven't paid money for internship. Okay, so internship is which comes after your training program, which will begin after 6 June. Okay, and training program is a different category. So don't mix up that. uh, Officially your internship begins at 6 June, but since this is connected, we call it as like you're into the internship program. But understand that training program is a different thing, and internship actual is a different thing. When I say internship, you will actually work on projects. Right now you are in the training, in the learning phase. So that's what, and since you are some MSBT board has some guidelines and rules, we definitely fall in that category. Okay. Girish asked तर ma'am काय बोलल्या यावर. That's what ma'am asked me about the clarification. She was not sure that what we are doing. So I gave her clarity what we are doing. She thought that we you have paid money for the internship. So it's like you haven't paid money for internship. You have paid money for the training program. So that's what she asked me, and it's okay. I mean, I'm not sure. Like I have already clarified everything to Mega ma'am, but there must be some communication gap. It's fine. They are doing their job. Okay. Let me just see. Today we are going to connect the front end and back end, right? Mm-mm-mm. Just a second, guys. Let me just see. I have a lot of windows open. Mm, okay. So first, tell me, guys, have you uh, com completed till whatever we did last time. So your front end is working fine. Is there any issue? I'm expecting that your front end is completely ready. Your like whatever we did, the CSS, the scrolling part, the tabs, and it's okay if you haven't tried the web host, yeah, like hosting your website live. But if you do that, even that's cool. And backend, so you are aware of that. Okay. Hmm. So today, let's see what all things we can cover. So our time, we have started late and you had some meetings and all. Anyways, let me pick it up. Okay. Can everybody see my screen? Okay. It's visible. Cool. Yeah. So see, today what we are going to do is first thing is we will just create a basic form at our website. So let me just open our website code. And here you have to, let me just see, recording is on. Yes, recording is on. Okay, so here we have to first, let me just create a new branch. We have Progress 4 branch over here. Let me just sync and let's create a new branch and let's say Progress 05. And let's take it from Progress 4. Click the sync button. Done. And now we are running this site. Let me just check all things are intact. Yes, the button is working. This is there. Footer is looking good. Okay. So guys, here this footers, like currently if we click, it's just going there. You can also drive it to whichever channel you want to drive. If it's Instagram, so you have to just give the URL inside this. So if let's take some channel. So let's take Codex Labs channel only. Okay. Codex Labs. And I will copying this URL. Okay. And this URL, I can paste it to the footer. So this footer over here. And if you see here, we have YouTube icon. And for this icon, here is the href, like where do you have to drive. So here I will just paste the URL. I will say Control S. And let's open and check. If I click on this YouTube icon, it's opening the channel. Okay. So wherever you have to drive, you can just mention the href over here and then it will drive it there. So I'll just leave this for now. And our main objective is today that when we fly this sign up button, we will put a action for this button and we will fill a form. So now there are a couple of ways doing it, that if I click this, we can create another HTML file, but always try to make a one-page website. So what I will do is there is a framework called Bootstrap. We will use Bootstrap. We will put a pop-up right now. Okay. So let's do that. So first, to use Bootstrap, you have to import few libraries, like how we have imported library for this font awesome. Same way we have to do it for Bootstrap. So if I say use Bootstrap in HTML, you get this script tags, which is responsible for importing it. See, I, I got that over here, like since I use an extension called grepper, so for that I got. But if you want, in your case, you can just go to the official website, which is getbootstrap.com. And if I open it here, you can see here we have CSS script tag, which is this, and we have JS script tag over here, which will eventually get you all the Bootstrap code. Okay, so I'll just go back and I will just copy it from here. You can copy it from there also, not a problem. And remember, you have to paste it the place where you have uh, pasted the font awesome. Okay, same where you have to link that. So I will just type here comment saying this is bootstrap code, bootstrap. Okay, and here I will paste it. So these are the four important linking which you have did, which is for the importing of the Bootstrap framework. Okay, I'll just align it and let's save it. Once you do that, now you can use the power of Bootstrap. Now I will just show you that now see things will get very easy. We have spent so much of time writing all this CSS, okay, writing complex things, but now using Bootstrap, life is way too easy. You have to not do a lot of styling, padding, margin, and all things. You have to just apply the classes and you're done. So I didn't taught this at the right beginning because if you learn at the very start, you will lose the fundamentals of the building web designs. So always first learn HTML, CSS, then start working with frameworks. So since we have imported this framework, let's go ahead and use it. So now see here, the game is all about getting the code snippets from the official documentation of the Bootstrap, which is this. See, this is the official page of the Bootstrap, and which will make your website responsive, fast, and easy for a developer. Okay. So as we saw the installation, which is this thing. Okay. So now we have to use a model. What is a model? I will show you model. What is it? So I'm typing model in Bootstrap. See, again, I have grepper, so it gave me the appropriate code, but we will go to the official documentation, which is get bootstrap from here. And I click this. So this is a model, okay? A window having two buttons or some context in it. It has a cross button. And imagine you are doing this designing and you have to mention all this padding, like it should be in grid, then you have to import this X icon, then make this bold, blah blah blah, and like a lot of things you have to do. Okay, but here if you see, I have to use only this much of code, which is hardly 15 to 16 lines, and then you will get this code magically just because you have used this classes which is provided by Bootstrap. You are not writing CSS for these all classes. Okay, so this classes so the CSS for this classes is already written in the Bootstrap where you are just reusing it. Okay, so we'll just speed up because we have very less time today, so we'll just do things very fast. So see here you have live demo also. So how does this work is I will just show you. See, this is a button, correct? And the code for this button is over here. Now I click this button, you get this pop-up. So this is called model. Okay, everyone has understood what is model. It is simply a pop-up which you are getting on screen if you click some button. Okay, so this is called model. This model, not the model DEL, it's DAL. It's actually called modal, but we can call it model. It's okay. So okay. So what happening is, let's understand this code snippet just here. When I click this window opened. So the code for this particular window is written over here. But this won't be visible. Okay. This would need some trigger, and that trigger is this button. So this is that. So So these all are the internal keywords which Bootstrap is using. Okay. So now let's copy this much code. I'm copying this much code, and let's go to our code. Now, what we have to do is we have to put an action for this button. So whenever we click sign up, we should get that pop-up. Okay. So to do that, first let's go to the section where we have that sign up button. So it's the feature section, correct? This is the feature section, and here we have the sign up button over here, correct? So just below this feature section, what I will do is I will just copy the code which I have written right now. Sorry, I mean I have copied it. This thing. Okay, copy and paste. Okay, so till now what I have did, have you understood? I have just copied this code snippet which just shows this. Okay. And if I control S this, let's run. See here. You can see here there is a button. Everyone just do this and let me know, are you able to see a button like this and a like at the bottom section of your feature section, you should get one this section which is say, and when I click this, your model should run like this. So that's how you get a code snippet from the Bootstrap site, put it in your code and just try this. Everyone just quickly do this and let me know. Just Google this. Just type, you can just type modal in Bootstrap. This thing, modal in Bootstrap. And then you will get the first link which says modal Bootstrap. And then you can just scroll down, which says live demo. And then see, there are a lot of things here. See, for long context, you have the code snippet. For vertical thing, you have this code snippet. Okay. We have various code snippets, but the basic one is like this one, the live model, which has a button and this thing. So everyone just copy paste this code in your and just check, are you getting like this a window saying, when you click this, just get a sample thing. Everyone just quickly do, and once you're done, ping on the chat. One student says worked. We'll just wait for others. Do it fast, guys. Today we have to do things very quickly. What do you want to see, Devashish? Where
We
we
have
have
to
to
paste that
paste it?
code.
Just below this feature section. So you have this feature section, correct, in your code, which have this sign up button. Just below that,
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
just below that, you have to paste it. Okay, Suyog Chavan says done. Very good. I don't understand why guys are leaving the meeting sometimes. Okay, we have 32 participants today. Okay, so far only 2 students, 3 students have done. We have 32 participants and only 3 students have done. So I will wait at least till 10 students do this. Saket did it. Rupali did it. Webex has problem today. I see Rishikesh. Okay. Isha done. Aditya done. Rishikesh done. Okay. Suhani thumbs up. Shubham done. Okay. So far very good. So see, once you have this code snippet in it, now here is the part where you have to learn to tweak your code. What I mean is, see, you have this button. Now, what is our objective? When we click this sign up, so at that time we have to open the this kind of model. Okay. So we are going to swap this button. So how I'm going to do it? See, understand. See, I will just take this button and I will keep it near my sign up button. So my sign up button is over here. So just below that, I am putting this button. Let me just remove this comment. So now see, what I'm going to do is we don't need this button. I'm going to delete this button, but we need the attributes which has been used for this button, which says this attribute is important. Data toggle. You know what is the meaning of toggle, right? Toggle is used when you have to do some certain of switching, correct? And for that is very crucial. So I will take this, and this is the data target. This is also very important. So class is something which you usually use for styling purpose. We have already styled for this our sign up button. So I'm going to ignore the type, this. I'm going to copy this thing, data toggle and data target. I will just copy that and I will put it for my button over here, which is our sign up button. Okay. Just take the data toggle attribute, data target, and put it in your button, whichever button you want to open your model. And I will just delete this button. We don't need this button. Deleted, save. Now see, that button is gone because we have deleted that button, obviously. And now if I click the sign up button, our modal opens. But if you observe, when I click on the sign up thing, it's going a little bit upside and still it's opening the modal. Why this is so? Because inside a button, we have anchor tag. Okay. So in data toggle, you have written modal, right? So here I will write modal over here in href and I will just try to run again. So now this time it's working perfectly. So when we click sign up, we are getting this pop-up. Everyone just do this change and let me know when you click on sign up, are you getting this pop-up or not? Understand what I did? I will tell again that let me just undo few things. We had this button. So from that button, I just took data toggle and data target and I copy pasted that into our button, which is sign up button. And I deleted this button. And in href, whatever you have written in data toggle, in href in this after this hash, I am writing modal and save. So and after doing this, when you click sign up, you will get this pop-up. So just try, guys. Are you able to get this pop-up? Should I wait or go ahead? Continue. Rishikesh says continue. Sakit says wait. I'm not getting the pop-up. Aditya. So Aditya, I think um, just see, are you writing the same thing which I have written over here? You see, you have to not change your sign up button anything. Just add this data toggle and data target. Sakit says yes. Isha says wait. Okay. And also, Aditya, make sure your href over here is modal. The code which we copy below, don't change anything in this. It's it's just the modal code. We'll keep that as it is for now, but at least the button thing we have modified over here. Yeah, it's same, but still not getting the pop-up. Aditya, can you quickly share your screen? Yeah. Okay. So here it is. Okay. Run this code. Okay. Go to sign up. Okay. Click on that. Okay. Click on the, don't click on the text, which is sign up. Just click on the box. Yeah. Just on the box. Yes. Still not. Okay. Mm, have you imported the Bootstrap library? So go to your index.html and go at the top, at the very top. Yeah, you have not did it right. So no, no, no. See, you have just imported a one, I think. There are total 4 lines. Open the Bootstrap website. Just type Bootstrap in HTML, yeah. And yeah, click on the first link. No, no, go on the first link. Yeah. So copy this CSS and just go down. There are 3 lines of JS. Yeah, these 3 lines as well. So above one line, so total 4 lines are there. So copy those in your this place. Save it. Yeah, try to run now. Okay, cool. You're done. Let me just make me as presenter. Yes, and let me just quickly share my screen. So I guess I will continue now. So see, and guys, understand each step. Okay. Uh, I don't want to continuously do this thing, but this particular thing which we did right now, this was very important, and that's why I wanted you all guys to do with me, because in future now, all you have to do is you have to take all these code snippets from the official documentation, whichever framework you're using, and you have to put it in your website. Okay. So let me see our output. So here we are showing the model very nicely, but now let's modify some things. So as this is the sign up thing, okay. So let me see the model code. So this is your modal code, and it says it has a title over here. So I'll just change the title to sign up. Okay. And below this, if you see, there are 3 dots. Let me just save this and check. If you see, this is the 3 dot, which represents what? It represents the uh, the content what your modal going to have. Okay. But what I want to do is now, it's your wish how to do it. But here now I'm going to play around. So I just picked this live demo, but I would like to take this vertically centered, which is, you see, the modal pops up, but it's right at the center of your screen. Okay, it's at the very center. But if you see this live button ka thing, this is at the upper part. So it's on your taste, but I would like to pick this thing which is at the center. So I will just copy this code snippet. I copied it and I'm deleting this thing, modal code. I'm pasting this. And now I am just removing this button because button we already have for sign up above. Okay. Okay. So this is our code. Let me just check, is it working or not? So if I click sign up, okay, it's not working now. It's not working. So the reason is, let's try to understand the reason now. I will just get my button back, which I got from this code snippet. And if you see the data toggle and data target, is it same in my sign up button? So if you see my data toggle modal is it is correct. Here it's modal and here it's modal. But if you see data target, it's different. Okay. So make sure your target should be same. So the target is basically the ID of your modal here. You see ID is this thing. Okay. So I'll just copy this ID and I will press paste in this sign up thing so that I can use this new modal which I have imported right now. I will just save this and I will click on sign up. Now you can see the modal is coming up at the center. I've just took a new code snippet and did all those things which we did right now. So you can go ahead and choose whichever you want. See, here we have a lot of things. We have your input text as well. Okay. Okay. So, so since here we have the input code, okay. So I will just copy this much part. See, this is modal body. Okay, so guys, don't do it anything right now. Just focus on my screen. Uh, Now, later I will give you time to do all those things and I will immediately push my code on GitHub. So leave your computer. Just okay. So when I'm opening my website here, so we don't have anything. So what we are going to do is I want to take name and mobile number. Okay, name and mobile number. These two things we are going to store in our database. So to get that, I need to show that whoever is the user, I need to tell him, bro, please type the name or the mobile number, right? So we need some input text for that. So to do that, here I just went to the official site and we have this input text we already have. This is inside the body. Okay. So I just gone down and you see the form tag. So form tag we are using to take that body, that particular body. Okay. And this thing I'm going to copy and paste it in our form body here. Understood what I did? I'm just copying the form body inside content and pasting it in our form body. Sorry, not form body. You can say modal body. Okay. This is modal body and even we have modal body. So I'm just pasting it here. Now I'm saving this and let's see the output. You see, we have this two inputs, which is recipient and message. Okay. But I don't want this kind of text. I want a little bit which is related to my content, which is, so what I will do is this model title we actually did previously. So I will just make this as sign up. And here we want his name. So I will write here name. Okay. I will keep the recipient name as it is. And we don't need this for. So I'm just removing this. Just removing this. So I'm keeping the class. Everything is there. So here see text area. Text area means you can write a lot of text inside one box. But I just want a simple text like this. So what I will do is I will just take this input text, copy it here, and I will just delete this. Okay. Now this is our recipient name. Okay. And this thing below, I want mobile number. So I'll say mobile. and here ID also, make sure you update it. I will say mobile. Okay. Now I'm just saving this. You see, it's we can type our name here, we can type our mobile number here. And if I click save change, it's doing nothing. Nothing. Okay. So this is a basic form which we created just by taking code snippets. Now we do not need to code each and everything. So till here, things are clear to you how I made this form. Okay, good, very nice. So now what we are going to do is, see, now we are going to close this, our HTML code for some time. I'm just closing everything. Now let's come to the basics. Now we have to take that. I have explained this in the last lecture also, but let me just tell again. What we are taking from that form, its name and mobile. This mobile and name, which we are getting it from our, this is a button, right, which says save. So this is your website. Now we are going to make a API call to our Spring Boot application. Okay. And guys, to do this, you can take your time to build the Spring Boot. It's not a rush, but I will just quickly build my Spring Boot, which will accept the name and mobile number. Okay. Okay. So now I am building the backend part. I'm going to do it very fast, guys. You can just observe. You can build your backend later if you want, but I will just quickly do it for you, and you, so that you will. It would be a revision for you as well. And then at the last, I will tell you how do you connect the front end and the backend. Okay. So let's do this. So in sales and marketing thing, what? Just let me show you one thing that we open this. See, someone comes to your website and someone types their name and mobile number. You call it as lead. Okay. What does a lead means? That means uh, you have got a customer or a client from your website. You have captured the lead, and that lead basically you try to convert it to the main client. Okay. So I will just call it as a lead. Lead means nothing but it's just like uh, just a user who came. Okay. So instead of this save changes, I will just make this as submit, which will make more sense. Submit. Okay. Which is looking like this now. Okay, guys. So let's make Fatak's a backend. I am making a Spring starter project, and the name I am giving here is Bootcamp. Okay, I already have a Bootcamp. So I will say Bootcamp 1. Okay, let's give one only. No problem. Okay. And let's go ahead. Next. Now what we need MySQL to store in the database. Then we need REST, sorry, web. And in this web, we need Spring Web. And what else we need? We need JPA. These three things, okay? And I'm just hitting next and finish. It's building my project over here, Bootcamp-1. It's building. See, guys, I'm going to do it very fast. So, uh, so it's not necessary you do it right now. Also, you can do it later. So I'm having here bootcamp over here, and I'm making an package, and that package is first we need a controller. After that controller, we need what else we do? Tell in the chat. Model. Then what else we need? New. We need service. Service. And what else we have? One is DOA, which says you have your repository inside that. Okay, good. So the number one thing which I'm going to do is the first thing which I'm going to do is create a sorry, model. Now this model is different and that modal is different. So don't get confused. So now I'm going to call this as a lead. And what is the lead? Lead is which I'm getting from our front end, which is name and mobile number. Clear? So this is my lead, which I'm taking a name and mobile number. So that I'm pasting it here. See guys, this thing, whatever we are doing it right now, you can do this as your mini project or main project also. Okay. So understand what I'm doing here. So here I want name and mobile. So that's why I am going to create a model here which says lead. And here what we are going to take name. So I will make a variable called private string name, and we are going to do string, and I will say this mobile. Okay, so I'm dealing with everything as a string because I don't want any conflict or issues later. So I'll just say private ID, and I will just see this as @entity, right? And then we say it as table, and here in table I am going to say what the schema is. Let's give this name as what should we give? The schema should be profile or web leads, I will say. Okay. And or else let's just say portfolio. Portfolio. And what's the name of my table? So the table name I will give here is leads. Sorry, it's name. Okay, perfect. So now let's give and @ID JavaX, and we give generated annotation. So okay, I already have a code here for that. I will just take it from here. Okay, and let's paste it here. Again, I have the code ready, but let's do step by step so that you understand the approach which I'm doing. So here we will give the name as whatever the table name is. I will say here as name only, and here I will create a column for mobile. Let's give this as mobile. Clear. And let's create now a constructor first. Here I will just click on sources, constructed using super fields. I'll do that, and then I will do as well as create a constructor with super. Okay, and let's create getters and setters. So here we go, generate getters and setters, select all and generate. In that way, we have our model ready. The main thing is the controller now. Okay, so controller, let's make it as lead controller. Okay, so in this lead controller, our API, we are going to write in this thing. Okay, and we'll give an annotation called REST controller, correct? And let's make some functions over here, which says uh, public, and here we are going to let's say string for now. Get leads. This is just a demo for just to check that everything is fine. So here I will just give request mapping. Okay. So now see, to make this endpoint, which I'm saying the endpoint would be, we write here the path, what the path should be. So at the front end here, we have to call some API which that path. So I will just say here as slash leads like this. Okay. And for this here, I will say it's a get mapping. And I will say here path as, I will say slash all for now. Okay. So this will first return it, but let me just create a boilerplate for this repository also. So repository, we create interface. I will just say lead repository are capital. Okay, finish. And this is an repository, right? So I will just say @ repository, and here we extends JPA. JPA repository like this. And here we have to import the model class, which is lead. And here I will write as the integer, the primary key, which is integer, right? So I will do that, and I will just leave that aside. Okay, so our repository is intact, model is intact, controller we are doing it, but service is empty. So I will just quickly create a interface first, and I will say this as lead service. Okay, and hit enter. Don't do anything. Let's leave it empty for now, and let's create its implementation, which is a class. And I say lead service IMPL. IMPL stands for implementation. So I will do that. And in this thing, I will say this as a annotation called service. Okay. And I'll just say save. Okay. So basic things are intact, and in application.properties, here you have to give your database connection, correct? So I'll just copy my database connection, which I already have. But in your case, you just get your database thing running. So yeah, this is my database connection. Okay, I'm just saving this, and just I will, so make sure your controller is having this endpoint, right? So what does this mean? That our endpoint is going to be this thing, http / local host, and the port number for this Spring Boot is 8080. So that's 8080 slash, and after that leads slash and all. So this is our get. So this is our get API call, correct? So till here, you know how to make an API, correct? So let's Let's try to hit this. Let's try to just run this first. Run as Spring Boot app. Can you show lead.java for once again? Lead.java. Okay, fine. So here is the lead.java file. You can check it out. So here it says now there is some issue connecting to that Hibernate. See, when you see that term called Hibernate, unable to create database. So in database, it's not able to find this thing. So for that, what you have to do is in your workbench, first make sure you have this schema written. So in my lead, I have written schema portfolio and the name is leads, the table name. So make sure at least you have your schema called portfolio, this thing. Okay. So I will just open my workbench and I will just try to see that. So my password, I will just type. Okay. So now if you see here, I will just create a schema here called portfolio and I will just click on apply. And now I'll just click apply, finish. So here now you have your portfolio and I'll just create a table. So here in leads, what we gave the table name as leads, correct? So here also I will name it as leads. I'll ensure that I have an ID, which is integer, unique primary key, auto increment. And here I will just say the second column as name, which is an varchar. And again, the third, which is the mobile. We are storing name and mobile only, correct? So this is also varchar. For now, I'll keep this and which is not null. Okay. I will hit apply. And I have the table in this. If you see your leads, we have the table which is empty currently. Okay, good. So now I will just try to restart my Spring Boot. Again, it's giving an error. So the reason why it's giving is error is here I have used an ID which is JavaX, correct? So let me just check what did I missed here. Unable to create a service. Okay. So here, if we see the service over here, okay, service is empty right now. It's about the dialect only. Okay. So the mistake what I did is it's simple. In application.properties here you have to give the schema name as well, right? So your schema name is my bootcamp. So instead of that, our schema name is at portfolio. So the schema name was wrong. So I will just try to restart it again. Okay. So again some error, I guess. Let me just see guys. So now here is the point. Always don't press the play button. So it's trying to so I have two projects. So sometimes it just confused. So always just click here and then try to run as Spring Boot app if you have multiple projects. Okay. Okay. So now just trying to see what's the issue. So if I just go up from where the error started, so it started from here, unable to hit it. Let me just check. Portfolio is my name of my schema. Let me just open my schema. It's portfolio only. Just correct. I'll just make this as default schema for now. Let me just check my lead. It says lead. Everything looks fine to me right now, but let's see where we are missing it. See here it says that cannot load requested class and unable to load the MySQL class. Okay. Unable to create requested service. ADBC unable to resolve this thing, unable to load Hibernate. Okay. Mm, something is going wrong, and now we need to find this error first. Could not load requested class. Let me just check again the application.properties. So let's just update our project once. Even update project. Okay. Okay. So see, if you see here, here we have to write implements and to which service we have to implement. So to do that, here we have to implement lead service, right? So I will just control S over here, and then let's try to run again now. Okay, it's still giving some error. Okay, guys, I will resolve this issue right later, but I have this running code over here. So let's try to run the running code, which is similar to that, but I will just quickly show you. So I knew that while showing you the approach, there might become some error. So I have already written the code. So basically, understand that you have to build the structure in the way which I did right now. And from the Postman, we will try to hit our API first. Okay. So let it load. So in a Postman, so let me just open my lead controller. So in controller, if you see, I have this path called /lead/save. So that's the reason why I think the half part of the application is not copied, and I just checked once. Aditya, okay. Application.properties you're saying? Okay. You're saying this dialect is not copied, right? Let's do that then. If I see that, Control A, copy, and here paste, and this is portfolio. Let's try to run this. Good catch, Aditya. So now it says it's already running, obviously. So I will just close this, the running port number, and let's close everything. And let's try to run this again. Okay, now this is working. Perfect. Now let's see our controller once. See, in the controller, what you have given here is, it says that /lead/all. So let me just open Postman, and what you as this is the get mapping, so I'm giving here as get, and here http://localhost 8080 slash what we have given leads/all. I'm just saving this, and let's save in this training program, or else I will just make a new workspace over here, new collection, which says new APIs, something like this, and I'm saving this here. Leads. And now if I hit that, you see I'm getting a response called leads. But the major objective over here is in our website, we want to put name and mobile, right? So here we'll just make this as post mapping. Now, if I do post mapping, and let me just make this as lead, and we have to save this, right? So let me just make it as save. So now here I'm putting something in my body. So here I'm okay, sorry guys. So here I have the endpoint over here, and now we have to pass the name and the mobile in this. Okay, so I say request body. Request body, and this request body is of type lead, which we already defined here. So I'm just importing this thing. So if you see here that this is a post mapping, and we have this thing over here. So we need a service which will save everything. So in this service, first I will write is that this will return us a boolean if it saves successfully. So I will say boolean, and I will say save lead, and in this I will just pass the object of lead like this. Okay, let me just import this lead one. Okay, once you do that, we have to write this implementation in our IMPML file. So you will get obviously an error here. You can like click on add implementation. So here we are going to write the actual, first we are going to get the repository. So the repository is lead repository, right? And this lead repository, we are going to create an object called lead repository. Okay, so make sure the this is a into camel case. So this is the object of this thing, and we have to auto wire this. Okay, and once you do that, now you can directly use this over here. I will just use a try catch block so that if something goes wrong, I can immediately catch it. Dot save. What do we have to save? We have to save the lead like this. Okay, and whatever it saves, it should give a return which is a of type lead. So I will just say it as saved lead. Okay, and if it's null, I mean if something goes wrong, if this particular thing is not equal to null, so that means it has saved perfectly and correctly. So this time we are going to return as true. And if something goes wrong in the else section, then obviously it is null and it should return false. Return false. Okay, so this basically service, what this is doing is we are sending it lead, and in lead we are lead means the name and the mobile number, and it's going to save in our database. So now when saving into the database, if and anything goes wrong, it will return us null. So I've just put a check over here. So if it is not null, then that means it will return true. So now this service we can easily use in our lead controller, and I can just say that you know I'll just say if now that service, first of all, we need to auto wire here, correct? So I'll just say lead service like this, and I'll just say lead service like this. And now this lead service need to be auto wired. And this lead service here, I can just say that if lead service save lead, which we created the method right now. and in this I will just pass the lead. Now, what will happen if it saves successfully in our database? So it should basically return and say that all everything is fine. So the response type I will just say as a response entity, which is of type string, and likewise I will just remove this for now, and let's say return response entity. Let me just check the format, how I have written over here. Okay, it's like this. Got it. So we have to just override that thing. So here I will just say lead saved, and here is http status dot okay. Okay, I have to use a new keyword. Okay, but what do I have to do if it's false? So at that time I need to say that that lead has not saved. Fail to save, and I will say internal server error. So let me just try to hit this once. I will just close it, and I'll let me go to the postman. So always make sure that before you do that, just test it from the postman. Okay, so as it's lead slash save, you can see your lead slash save, and then it will try to save in our database. I'm just hitting. Okay, we haven't started the server yet, so I'll just quickly start our server. Okay, so now server is starting, and I will just hit the API. So it says that lead save. Okay, and I will just check the database over here, and you see my data in my database. I have my data, correct? So our API is ready. So I'm assuming that you know how to build that certain API, and which will, if you hit from Postman, it will save into your database. Till that, you have to like just cope up with me. So now the question is, now if I try to do this using this thing, okay? So here we have to make an API call. But remember, guys, when you do that, there is something called course error. I will just show you. First, I will just now tell you that how do we make an API call from here. So to do that, first thing which we have to do is in our front end code. Now I'm coming back to my front end code, and here let's try to first open app.js here, and here now what you have to do is first okay, first guys, let me know, like it's 5:50. Is it okay that I continue till 6:30, or do you want any break, or should we do it later? Because it's okay. Continue. Continue. Okay. Okay, guys. Okay. So see, understand that here now we are going to hit the API from this side. So first we need to grab what is the ID of this thing, correct? The IDs for this. Until unless we don't get the ID, we won't be able to hit. And we have to put a trigger that when we click on this button, it should basically hit something on the console. At least we need to see that what is the data. Okay, so let's first do that. Now we will put a on click event for the submit button. So first, the ID of the submit button. We don't have any ID for the submit button, so I will just write ID like this, and I will say submit. Okay, now this ID I need to grab and need to grab that ID first. So I will say submit document dot query selector, and here I will say hash the ID. Oops, ID is submit, I guess. Submit. Okay. So now we have to put an on click event listener for this click. So I will just go down and say submit dot add event listener for a click. So whenever that submit button has been clicked, that time we have to perform certain job. I will just say save lead, right? So now the save lead is not been written anywhere. So I'll just write const save lead, and here I will try to write an function which is uh, await async Okay, so now in this, what we are going to do is we are going to make an API call. And so here, what I will do, I'll just we have now in our database, if you see, we already have data. I will also create an API which will return a list of all these things. So let me just open Spring Boot and let's create another API for get API. So let's copy this, paste, and simply I will just make it from post to get mapping. And here I will say get leads, and there is nothing inside the body. And this method should be actually save leads. Save leads, get leads. Okay, cool. So now here also what I will do is I will say get lead. Don't need anything like that. And here, okay, we'll just remove all these things. Okay, we'll directly just say that what's the response type. So, okay. So the return type for this would be of type lead. Okay. And I will just call a service called lead service dot get leads. So now this thing is not defined yet. So I'll just save this and it will give an error for it. And I'm going to resolve this error by this way. It will automatically create something over here. And let's write here as lead. So this is actually going to be a list of leads. So what I will do is in my controller, instead of just lead, I will say list of lead. That means there are multiple leads in that. Okay. So let me just go into the lead service here. Yes, let me just remove this, save this. add unimplemented methods. And here, what I'm going to do is simply I will just say that from the repository of lead repository, just find everything, find all. That's it. Okay, so this will basically give me all the leads and give to the controller here, and the controller will directly return it. So to test this, first I will do the testing from the Postman, and let's see whether I'm getting all the leads or not. Or even simple, you can just hit on the uh, what do you say, the browser, from the browser as well. So I'll just say local host colon 8080 slash lead slash get leads. Let me just check server is running or not. It's not. So let's start the server. Okay, so here our server is running, and if you see, I refresh, yes, we are getting all the content. Okay, so understand that when you try to now hit from here, now what we will do is when we click this button, we want to see these all get thing over here in our console. Okay, so in app.js here, what I'm doing is now I'm going to make an API call. So there are multiple ways of doing it, using Axios, using XML, HTTP call. There is something called fetch. So there are many ways. So there are total 4 ways of doing it. The few which JavaScript has inbuilt in it, and this Axios is basically a third-party library. But in our project, we are going to use Fetch, which is the inbuilt and which is really nice to use. So we will use Fetch. Okay. So how to use this Fetch is quite simple. So uh, as you know, in the Postman, we are using the URL, the uh, the method type. Okay, so same thing, all those things we have to mention it now over here. Okay, so let's start doing that. Okay, I'm not sure my system is lagging. Okay, what's happening? Okay, got it. Now it should. Okay, so I was saying that so here we will just start writing it, and it's quite easy. See, first to make that API call, when you make an API call, you are getting a response, right? So you have to store that response somewhere to log it or to show it here in our console. So let's do that. So here I will just say I will just create a variable called response, which will just store whatever the response is coming. And Girish is saying we'll do it later. Yeah. Wait, just hang out. We'll at least make an API call, and you will understand. So see, await is used when you are using asynchronous functions here, and after here you write fetch, as we are using fetch. Fetch is a method. Inside this method, we have to mention the URL to whom you have to call it. So which is the URL? Our URL is this. For get, at least for get now. This is our URL, and I will paste it here. HTTP localhost this thing, and I will just put a log, and I will print this response. So basically, this thing, we have to see it in our logs. This thing, we are getting an array, right? So let's see, are we getting this response or not? Let's try to, okay, but the question is, uh, okay, we have connected it. So this is to the submit button. So whenever we click submit button, this function will get called and it will make an API call. So here you do not need to give mention any other thing because it's an get call, and in the get you do not need to mention any method type or not, because by default it's get only, but for post it's different. Let's continue with fetch for now. Let's try to execute this. I'm clicking sign up. Now observe very carefully. When I click submit, you see I got an error, which is called course error. That means that when you work with HTTP, you get this course policy which says that the resources are not secured or are not controlled. So if you're doing an HTTPS call, you won't get this error. So to handle this in Spring Boot, you have to give this annotation which says @cross origin. Okay, this is a simple annotation which will eliminate the course error. So now let's try to hit. I will just clear. I will hit it. Okay, we have to restart the server. Okay, restarted the server. Now let's try to hit it. Clear, hit. Now see, there is no error. We got the response. And let me just check the network. Okay, let me just clear this. And again, I will click submit. Now it made an API call to get, and you see here response. We got our data, all the data, which is in your database. We made a API call to the Spring Boot and got this data, okay, which is cool. So same way, there is a different way to do a post API call, and that I think we will do in the next lecture. But at least come till here. Uh, what do you say, guys? Do you want to learn it right now, how to make a post call, or at least you will come till here and then we will do it. So basically when I click submit, I'm making an API call, see here, and at least you should get this in console, or sorry, in the network section. We should get this response, which we are getting from the Spring Boot. Okay, I think I think we'll call it a day, and at least you build your backend first and make this form working, and just make an API call to a get. And for a post, there is a different way of making an API call for the fetch. Uh, Even that, I will just quickly just tell you how you should just pass it. So here I will just make another response to await. It will wait for the response. And what is our for saving, we are using this URL. And here we have to mention two things. Okay, one, in the second parameter, the first thing is the method type, which is going to be post. Okay, okay, sorry, you have to write it in quotes, post. And the headers, you have to tell them that it is a JSON kind of data. So in headers, you have to tell them, please accept our application data, which is in JSON, application /JSON, like this. And the content which we are sending content which we are sending, content type is again the same application dot JSON, like this. Okay. So in this way, you mention the method and the headers, and the last and the important is the body. Okay. So in this body, you have to pass the JSON stringify, and inside this, just tell them what you are passing. So here, what you are passing, name and mobile, like this, right? So don't write quotes, just name and whatever your name is. So here I will just write Tejas and some random mobile number. Okay. So in this way, this will also make an API call. Okay. And we will just print the response here. Response to. That's it. So let's see. But before that, we haven't did this cross origin. We have to put it for this also. Let's save and let's go to our Spring Boot and just restart. Restarting. Now we are going to hit it from here, and this should eventually see our database. In database, we have just Laukik Kakade. Now here, if I let's get the name as well. So what we are going to type is the client name, right? Recipient name. So I will say client name, and you need to get that thing. We say it's query. No, not this. This time we will get element by ID, and we have to just pass the ID of our name and mobile. So here you can see here we have recipient name, which is the ID for our name. So that I will write here in the quotes like this, and you have to say dot value, whatever the user types. Okay. So same way, I will just copy this and paste it below. So this would be for mobile and the ID would be different, obviously. And I will say mobile. And simply you have to just, instead of this stages, you have to just pass this thing over here. So in this way, whatever the user will type will go inside the database. Okay. Our server is restarted. Everything is looking good. Let's try to hit this, and we will just check the network. Now I'm typing here as Tejas, and I'm typing 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0. Submit. You see here there is no error in the console, no network, nothing, and here in response it says that lead saved. So let's go and check our Spring Boot. It's perfect. And let's go to the database and let's hit refresh. So you can see Tejas has been now saved. That's it, guys. This is the main crux of your web application. This is what, like, this is a very big achievement. You can say that we have completed the web application right from the front end. But obviously there are a lot of there is a lot of enhancement to do here, lot of enhancement, and that we will do in the further sessions. But at least you got the idea. So here if I type here Rohan and then hit submit, you see here refresh. So Rohan is now saved in our database. Also, if I in here our API was getting that thing. So if I click refresh here, so you see I'm getting data for everyone, Laukik, Tejas, Rohan, for everyone. Okay, understood, guys? So this is a baseline to our thing what we are doing right now here. So there are little bit enhancement, like see when you click submit, this model should get closed. Okay, and there are a few things which we will cover up in the next session. So okay, so do you have any doubts what I did and how I did? Any doubts in this? We have 15 minutes. So if you have any doubts, I'm happy to clear them. Is it clear? Understood to everyone? Oh, nice. कोई तो होगा जिसे कुछ तो प्रॉब्लम या दिक्कत आई होगी समझने में. So see, when I click submit, it did saved in the database, but it didn't clear the data over here. See, Rohan is still over here. So here I'm when I'm closing it and I'm opening it again, the data is still here. So there are minor enhancement which we have to do, and that we will do it later. But yeah, that's the basic idea of connecting your front end and the back end. So guys, what I will do is I will push the code, everything to the GitHub. I will just make few enhancement so that you understand the code, and then uh, in the next session, which we will have on Thursday. So Thursday would be our, you can say, our last session where we will like complete our web application completely, and if few things are pending, we will complete it on Thursday. Okay, so all good, guys? Do you have any questions, or else should I close the call? If we post our website on 000 host and we want to see it from mobile, we have to keep our laptop and server on. Very good question, Rushikesh. Very good. And on this, we are going to discuss on Thursday that see, I'll just quickly tell you. Very good question, Rushikesh. I mean, that's the perfect question which I was expecting. Okay, so see, uh, here what you are trying to doing is you have your 000 web host. Here you are hosting your HTML and front end, which is HTML, or you can say the front end files. Okay, so all your HTML code, the front end code, is hosted on 000. Now, what Rushikesh is asking is that, so now we made a API call to save it in the database, which we have mentioned over here is localhost, correct? Now, what you have to do is there would be some external provider. Now, I will not take the name. Like you have many AWS and all, but there, what you will do is you will host your Spring Boot application, which is backend. Okay, and when you do that, you will not write here localhost. Okay, you will write here at the bonus session. I have said you that there is a IP associated to your server. So here instead of localhost, we will write an IP, which would look something like this. Okay, now this IP is accessible all over the internet. Okay, so this thing we are hosting it on 000 web hosting, and this thing we are hosting it on some like Spring Boot we will host somewhere else. Okay. Oh, Rushikesh Shinde left. He had this question and he just left. Anyways, so yeah, that's the whole picture basically. I will tell you the backend deployment later. Uh, like I can't show. See, 000 web host is. Acha, Rushikesh Shinde is there. I just got the message saying you left. Anyways, So this thing, see, this thing I showed you the deployment because this is free, right? But this thing is very hard to see that you will get this free service. So actually, AWS is free for 1 year, but for AWS to get that free tier, you need a credit card details, and I'm pretty sure that you are students and you don't have credit card. So, but if you are interested, on Saturday, I can just show you how to deploy the backend just for knowledge purpose. But you can do it because like you can do it if you have credit card, then you can just create an AWS account and you can just host your backend code so that your web application will be active on the internet. Anyways, Ron is saying push the code on Git and send the link on group. Yeah, sure, Ron. I will just push the code in some time, and I'll share the link as well. Okay. Okay. I think we are good to go and we can just close this call. Okay. Any other questions? Like how Rushikesh had. So some any other questions regarding this? Have you understood the big picture? Are you understanding how applications are working? Okay. So even Facebook and big website, you see Amazon and all. So what they have is they have their backend deployed somewhere else and they have their front end deployed somewhere else. So this is called which you call two-tier architecture. So there are three-tier architecture as well. So what you do is you deploy your database somewhere else. You deploy your front end somewhere else and back end somewhere else. So in that way you call it three-tier architecture. So it's pretty complex, the software engineering concepts, but uh, the more you look into it, the more interesting it is. But if you don't understand the concept, you will feel अरे यार ये क्या boring है, कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा. People give up. So don't do that. If you understand, then only things will be interesting. Okay. Um. Yeah. So on Thursday we will just do some enhancement and okay. What I think is I will also push my backend code as well of the Spring Boot code so that you can refer that because we have this use case of leads. Okay. ठीक है. Okay. Let's close this. I think uh, today like I have took a lot of time. Bye. On web page, how can we jump on another web page? Okay, very good question. So guys, whoever wants to leave, they can leave. I will just take this question which Shubham has mentioned. So Shubham, you're saying that to a different web page. Okay. So to do that, see, we have our index.html over here. Okay. What if, see, as I showed you on YouTube here, if I click on YouTube, it's going to the YouTube page. But what if you have your own web page? Okay. So let's example, I will just make another web page over here and I will say message.html. Okay. And now I will just write a basic code over here which says this, and I will just say here a normal p tag which says hello world. Okay. So now this web page, if I load it, you see it's showing this. So what I can do is if I click on explore, I want to open this web page, message.html. When I click explore button. So to do that, it's quite simple. See here, let me go to the explore button. So that button is here. Okay. So now you have this button. You see your href. Okay. What it's telling? It's telling hash right now. So what I can do is here, I can simply write dot slash and to which HTML file you have to go. So I want to go to message.html. So I will type like this. So if I do this, it will take you to message.html. Let me just show you. So now if I click on explore, see, it took me to hello world. Okay, I click on back, I come here. Easy? Understood? How we jump from one page to another page? Good, good. You should get all these kind of doubts. Very good. Uh, okay. So I think we can close. See guys, on Thursday, what we will do is on Thursday, we'll first complete, and Saturday I want to keep that full Saturday for doubts. Only doubts. Whatever you have questions, we will keep 3 hours, 4 hours, whichever you want. So that day would be completely doubts. Okay. So on Saturday, it would be interesting. For example, if we have some content that's only visible after the user signs in, so how we can deploy that thing? So yeah, Ron, for that your backend should be on the internet, right? That's what I said. So first you need to know how to. So see, your question is more over related to authentication thing. So you're saying that something like a Facebook. So when I log in as Logic, I should see content which is related to Logic. When I log in as Shubham or Rohan, I want to see the content which is related to Shubham or Rohan, right? So to achieve that, there are some authentication techniques. That is pretty much complex thing, and that I think you will learn in your internship if you're willing to learn, and if you're willing to put that efforts, because uh, for that only HTML, CSS, Bootstrap is not enough. You need some frameworks. There is a thing called JWT token. You can just Google it. So for if you use JWT tokens, that is useful to authenticate that yes, Logic is the user, and for that particular user I can uh, show the particular page and I can load that thing. Okay. So yeah, at least we will complete our things on Thursday. Okay. I will just push this code and you will get the things. Okay. Let's close this call. Okay. Bye guys. Have a good day.